If you have been building screen flows for a while, you have faced this use case before. Sometimes you want to display information to the user in the same row in a data table, but the information you need resides on two different object records. They are related object records, but they are separate in a sense. A good example is when you want to display the price from the price book entry and additional information for the product from the product table. In those cases, admins use workarounds. They may add cross-object formula fields to the object to be able to carry that information to the same row on the same object. You can also do this by leveraging Apex. There is such a thing called Apex-defined data types. You can create your own data type, an object, using Apex and assign the values to the same row, then display that in the same data table. Unofficial SF data table is the only data table that supports this at this point. So without further ado, let me just show you how I achieved this. So before I show you my flow, let me just tell you this content is already a very detailed blog post on salesforcebreak.com. So if you go to salesforcebreak.com and then pull up display product and price book entry fields in the same flow data table post, you are going to see exactly how I built this. And that post includes also the Apex code that I used that you can copy and paste into your own org. Now let me just go to my Salesforce org and pull up the flow I built. Now the interesting thing about Apex defined data types is that they are instantly available inside your flow once you add the necessary code to your Salesforce org. Obviously, if you want to deploy your code to production, you're going to also have to create a test class and test it, ensure test coverage, and then deploy to production. But with this approach, what I have done is I have created an Apex class that is kind of like a placeholder for my data. It includes 4 strings, 2 number fields, 2 currency fields, and 1 Boolean, 1 checkbox. And it's really such a short code. You define your variables with the @aura enabled annotation. And once you do that, these variables and this data type structure becomes available inside your flow builder. So when I come here and debug this, you are going to see what this does in action. So here I have a data table that shows me the product information from the product table. And you see that this price information comes from the standard price book. So in the same row, I have field values from the product table, and I have a field value from the price book entry. And to achieve that, I used the unofficial SF data table component. Now, what I have done here is I got the price book entries and I got my products, right? You will query those. And then I have transformed my price book entries and the product information into an Apex defined variable. And this is where the Apex defined data type becomes available for you to select on the right side of your transform. So let me just add another transform here to show you how this is done, because this is an inner join transform element. So what you can do on the left side is you are going to add your get products. Let's start with price books. And then you're going to add your get products. So the 2 sources become available on the left side. And then your target is going to be an Apex defined variable. it's going to be a collection, and you're going to look for the name you gave to your Apex class. In this case, it's called complex data collection, although this is not really a complex data structure. I named it that way. So once I add that here, I can see the placeholder fields that I have created. You remember I told you I wanted to create 4 strings, string 1, string 2, string 3, string 4. I have 2 numbers, 2 currencies, and 1 boolean or checkbox. So I can use all these fields to add this information. Now, at this point, it's not possible for us to create this data type using clicks inside our flow builder. We will have to create this using Apex. And once you have done that, to create a join, you will want to click on the first collection here at the collection level, not right next to one of the fields below, and then connect it to the right side. Once you do that, you're going to receive instructions. It's going to tell you, okay, click on the second source, and you click on the second source, and then you get this dialog to create a join. At this point, only inner join is available in transform, and in inner join, the sequence of sources doesn't really matter. You know, left source, right source. So you're going to select your sources here. And when selecting your sources, you're going to match the ID on the product table to the product to ID on the price book entry table. So that's going to be your key, right? Join key. And then once these match, all the matched rows are going to show up for you, and then you can select which field values you want to be able to use, and then map those to your Apex defined variable fields. And once you complete that, let me just show you that here, the completed way. You'll see here, if I click on this one, I'm going to see I selected 6 fields for me to have available. I chose the is active on the price book entry, the boolean or checkbox, name, product code, and unit price. And here under products, description, family, information. And once I choose those, I can map those to the target data collection. And in this case, this is the Apex defined variable. You know, I'm mapping the strings to strings, boolean to boolean. I didn't really end up displaying this in the data table. I could display it. And this is for the unit price, the currency field. And that's how you would map your fields. And once you map all that information, you want to display it in the data table. Now, the data table for Unofficial SF displays Apex defined, but it actually requires for you to serialize that information. You can either do this with flow. You will have to loop through those records and serialize them in like a single string, or you can use, again, Apex code to do that. I use the invocable action that I have provided the code for. It's written by Eric Smith, and there's a link to his own blog on this one. Eric Smith is also the creator of the Unofficial SF data table. And you are going to see how you can use that invocable action to serialize that information. Once that information is serialized into a single string, you can actually assign it to a variable, because the output that's created by the Apex action is not available for you to use in the data table. And then your data table configuration is going to point to Apex defined. Now, the first thing you want to do is under advanced, choose this checkbox, input data is Apex defined. And once you do that, you're going to point your data table record string to the string variable that comes out of the Apex action. This is the serialized information it's going to use. And then you can customize and tell the data table what types of columns you have, the labels, and all that good stuff. And you customize it. And with that, you actually show that information on the screen. Obviously, depending on use case, that could be a selection screen for the user to add, for example, products to the opportunity, right? Once there's a selection that happens over here, these can be added to the opportunity as opportunity products. Now, I know Salesforce product team is working on giving us Apex defined type right inside the flow builder. So in the coming releases, hopefully we're going to be able to create those Apex defined data types or custom data types. And we're going to be able to also show those in the out of the box data table. The requirement to be able to display this information gets even more important with the ability to do HTTP callouts, integration methods right inside the flow builder, because the response that comes back from an external system is often put in an Apex defined data type, and then you will have to parse that information out in action, and that usually requires a lot of looping. If you're lucky, you can just get by with transform, but if you really want to show that information on the screen, you're going to have to use a functionality that's not really available out of the box at this point. So that's all, folks. Let me know if you have any questions. You can either comment here on the YouTube channel or comment under the blog post on salesforcebreak.com.